Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to give you my review for Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the PlayStation 4. Now then, I don't think any of us need a history lesson when it comes to the Assassin's Creed games. It is one of the most beloved and most familiar gaming franchises out on the market. What I will say is that I've been an avid player of the Assassin's Creed games over the years. I've enjoyed some of them more than others, but I must say that last year's Assassin's Creed Origins was a real high point for the series for me. I absolutely loved it, thoroughly enjoyed it, and really had a great time with that game. So what do I think of Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Well, it's more of the same, guys. This game is in a lot of ways very similar to last year's game, Origins, but the foundations that were built last year on that game, they have expanded on this year. One of the things I loved about Assassin's Creed Origins was the role-playing elements that they introduced to that game. I'm a huge avid RPG player. Witcher 3 is my favourite game of all time in that genre, and I just think they can be really immersive and really fantastic RPGs, and I'm absolutely delighted that Ubisoft have gone down the RPG route, the Assassin's Creed games, because in my opinion what they have done with this game, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, is created almost a masterpiece. I don't think it's just there. I do think they've made some missteps with it, but I think as an enjoyable game, I think they've really delivered with this game. And what do we get with this game? Well, for the first time ever in an Assassin's Creed game, you get to choose between a male and a female main character, either Alexios or Cassandra. Now I chose Alexios. No particular reason, I just chose Alexios. And that in itself is a good element to the game, a good choice. And one thing I will say about Assassin's Creed Odyssey is that the actual story is quite a slow burn. It takes a while to get going. You realise that you are a descendant, or you are not. They let it know that you are a descendant of Leonidas, King Leonidas, who you'll remember from the film 300, the Gerard Butler film. You get some flashbacks early on in regards to his story, and then later on, about 10-15 hours into the game, it really starts taking shape, the story, and it gets very involved. I do agree from a lot of reviews that I've seen that it is arguably one of the strongest stories in the Assassin's Creed series. And one of the reasons why it's a strong story is it's not bogged down with the Assassin's Creed lore, because this game is set long before the birth of the Assassins, which we saw in the last game, Assassin's Creed Origins. This is set in ancient Greece, and it can tell its own original story. It's not bound by the Assassin's Creed lore, even though there is still some brief modern day sections are very brief. It's even less than last year really, which is good. I'm not a huge fan of the modern day stuff in regards to the Assassin's Creed stuff, so it still does have a connection, but the connection is nothing like as big as it used to be. It's far thinner now, the connection to the Assassin's Creed games, and it just sets out and does its own thing, which actually makes the game much better. So you're Alexios, and you're basically a mercenary. At the beginning of the game, you're working for coinage, and then eventually you make your way off your small island, basically to try and solve a family mystery. And along the way you can choose to fight for the Spartans or the Athenians, and because you're a mercenary you have that freedom. You can basically choose the missions you want. There are some story missions and some side missions that, you know, are either Spartan based or Athenian based, and you don't really have any loyalties to either side. A new element to the game that has been introduced are like Conquest Battles, full-on battles on a battlefield. Again, you can choose which side you want to side with, whether it be Spartans or Athenians, and depending on who already runs that province, if it's, for example, if the Spartans are in control, and you choose to fight on the side of the Athenians, because they're the ones trying to take over, it's actually a harder battle, but the rewards are greater. If you choose to side with the Spartans, the battle's a little bit easier, but the rewards aren't as rich. So you've got that choice, and it doesn't really matter who you choose, because it doesn't affect the game that deeply. It's just a bit of fun, really. They've gone full RPG this time, in a sense of you've got dialogue options now, which you've never had before in the series. I have seen some reviews where they do say that these dialogue options that you choose have an effect on the game. Well, I beg to differ, really. Nothing like the effect that you would see in games like Witcher 3. I mean, some of the decisions in that game directly affected a lot of what happened in that world. And I would say at least 80% of all the dialogue options, or all the choices that you make in this game, have very little effect on the overall outcome. There are some that you do notice, but it is not earth-shattering stuff. But it is nice to have the dialogue options, but I would like that expanded on in future games, please, Ubisoft. The swordplay is very, very similar to last year. If you liked the sword fighting and the action in the last game, you're gonna like it in this game as well. It's you don't have a shield anymore now. It's more about parrying and dodging, and you do get some abilities that you can lock down to, like the shoulder buttons and things like that. For example, you've got the Spartan kick, which was made famous by the 300 film, which is a lot of fun. And you've got other like special sword moves and special archery moves that really help buff out your character. As the previous game, you've got regular loot drops, and that's brilliant as well. It feels very similar to last year. You've got your normal, your rare, your epic, and your legendary gear. And if you get a piece of gear that you really like, again like last year, you can keep leveling it up to match your current level. And it just costs resources like, you know, money and metal and wood, all that kind of stuff. Sea battles are back again, and again it's very similar to last year's. It's been expanded on a little bit now. You can have a crew. You can basically knock anybody out within the game and recruit them onto your ship, and they might bring special abilities like improve your armor or improve your ship's hull strength or your arrow strength, things like that. And you can change how your ship looks and upgrade it as the game goes on, which is really, really nice. And I've never been really a huge fan of the ship combat in the Assassin's Creed games, but it's actually quite a lot of fun in this game. It's not too intrusive. It's not every time you go out on the water you're not constantly being attacked, and it's a nice little distraction. Now, the map on this game, guys, I've got to tell you, it's absolutely immense. It really, really is quite daunting, the size of this map. Fantastic. I've got to say, they've really, really nailed and fleshed out the world here, guys. They've really done a great job with it. I think they really, really have. The side missions, generally speaking, are pretty good. Some of the other smaller missions are very much fetch quests and deliver quests, all this kind of stuff, and they're a bit tame, and they don't offer an awful lot of experience. So, and there are some missions that you get on like notice boards and things like that tend to be timing based, things like that, and they're not very good. It's mainly the main story mission and the main side missions are all generally worth obviously doing. Some of the smaller side missions are a bit poor. So from my perspective, guys, I've got to say I'm deeply impressed with this game this year. It is very similar to last year. If you enjoyed Assassin's Creed Origins, I would definitely say this is a strong recommendation, guys. If you didn't and you preferred the more traditional Assassin's Creed games, then you're going to be disappointed here. And if you're not a fan of the RPG route that they went down last year, you're not going to be a fan of this either, because they've just expanded on it this year. Anybody else, this is a very strong recommendation from me, and I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10 because I think it's absolutely fantastic and I'm having a blast with it, and I'm going to be playing this game for a good couple of months. Definitely going to be getting all the DLC for it and all the season pass. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm having a lot of fun with this game, guys. So it's a 9 out of 10 from me. Very strong recommendation. I'm really delighted with it, and I hope you all enjoyed the review, and thank you very much for watching.